My boyfriend listed my apartment on Airbnb. We were in love, or so I thought, until I noticed strangers coming in and out of my building while I was at work. And the worst part? He'd been using my rent money to cheat with someone he called just a friend. I was betrayed and heartbroken when I found out, but now? He's locked out, jobless, and his mom called last night to apologize for him. I used to think moving in with someone meant commitment, a shared future, an IKEA trip at minimum. But what I got was lies, stolen space, and strangers sleeping in my bed. Literally. I still remember the day I gave Liam a key to my apartment. We'd been dating for a year, and everything just felt right. He'd sleep over so often that it barely felt like a change. Honestly, I thought I was living the Pinterest version of a relationship movie nights. Shared toothpaste, Sunday pancakes, the whole vibe. He was between apartments, his lease ended, and instead of finding a new place, I offered for him to stay with me temporarily, just until he got on his feet. At the time, I thought it sounded romantic, supportive. He called me his ride or die for it. I should have paid attention to the way he never clarified what on his feet actually meant. The first red flag was subtle. A strange knock at the door around 11 p.m. I figured it was a delivery mistake or drunk neighbors. But when I opened the door, a very confused couple stood there holding suitcases. "Hi, we booked the studio for the weekend. Through Airbnb?" I laughed at first, because it sounded so insane. I told them they had the wrong address. They showed me the app. I saw the photos. My couch, my rug, my actual succulent collection in the background. There was no mistaking it. They were looking for my apartment. I thought, okay, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe someone reposted my listing from years ago, when I used to rent it out occasionally before I lived here full-time. But something about the way they kept insisting that the host Liam had confirmed their booking made me feel sick. I told them to give me a second, shut the door, walked back into the living room and found Liam in gym shorts, eating peanut butter out of the jar like nothing was wrong. He didn't even look up when I said, "Do you know anything about my apartment being listed on Airbnb?" He froze, swallowed. Then he hit me with, "Okay, babe, don't freak out." That's when I knew. I wasn't just hosting a man, I was housing a liar. I just stood there, blinking. You know that surreal moment where your brain short-circuits because the situation is too ridiculous to be real? That was me, standing in Target socks while my boyfriend casually confessed to turning my apartment into a side hustle. "Liam," I said, so calmly it scared me. "What do you mean, don't freak out?" He sighed, like I was the one being dramatic. "It was just a few weekends here and there," he said. "We could use the extra money. And you're barely here on the weekends anyway with your mom and your yoga thing and whatever." He said my yoga thing like it was a personality flaw. Meanwhile, I'm staring at him, thinking he didn't even ask me. Not once. Not even a passive-aggressive suggestion. Just decided it was totally fine to rent out my home to strangers like it was a Motel 6. I said, "You listed my place on Airbnb without asking me?" And he had the audacity to correct me. "Well, technically, I listed our place. I had to grip the counter because I swear I saw red." Our place? The man didn't even have his name on the Wi-Fi bill. He Venmo'd me for rent once and then forgot the next 2 months. And now I was apparently co-hosting a vacation rental with him? I went to the front door and told the couple politely that there'd been a huge mistake and they needed to contact Airbnb support. I even helped them find a nearby hotel on Google Maps because I felt so deeply embarrassed. For them, for me, for this whole sitcom-level mess. After they left, I locked the door and turned around slowly. Liam was still sitting there, scrolling on his phone, like we weren't in the middle of the wildest betrayal of all time. "You literally let strangers stay in my bed," I said. "Did they even know it wasn't a real listing?" He shrugged. "They had great reviews." Okay. So as long as the strangers are polite, then it's fine to sell access to my apartment like it's a vending machine? But it gets worse, because that's when I noticed something I hadn't paid attention to before. The drawer under the TV was slightly open, and inside was a guest binder with my handwriting. He'd copied my old Airbnb welcome guide from years ago, the Wi-Fi password, the best coffee shops, the no smoking policy, all still there. Like this was a legit operation. Only I never wrote that version. The one in the binder said, "Hosted by Liam SS, for me." He'd been using my name. And the kicker? There was a thank you note inside, from a guest named Candace. "Thanks for a great stay. So cozy cute. Loved the movie collection. Hope to book again soon." Liam had done this before, multiple times. I turned to Liam, who was now suddenly very interested in the TV remote. "How many times?" I asked. He wouldn't look at me. "I don't know. A few." "Liam, how many times?" He finally sighed like I was being unreasonable and muttered, 4, maybe 5. That's when I walked over to the coffee table and grabbed his laptop. It was right there, open to the host dashboard. He hadn't even tried to hide it. 6 completed stays, 3 upcoming. 1 already checked in next Friday while I was supposed to be at my cousin's bridal shower in Palm Springs. He was literally coordinating a rental calendar around my life. I clicked into the messages. There they were, dozens of exchanges. Guests asking things like, "Do you allow pets? And is the rooftop accessible?" And Liam answering, like he was running a full-on hospitality brand. One guest even asked if the hostess would be around to give them local tips. My name, my apartment, my life, being sold off in chunks for $175 a night. "Are you keeping the money?" I asked, voice shaking. At that, he stood up like he was offended. "Oh my God, what is this, an interrogation? I told you I was going to use it for us, for your credit card bill, for groceries, for date nights." I stared at him. "I pay my own bills. I buy the groceries. And the last time you took me on a date, we split the check at Chili's." He went quiet. So I opened his banking app. Yes, I knew the password. We used to split Uber rides on it. And there it was. A neat little column of Airbnb payouts, all sent to a separate checking account in his name only. Over $3,000. Just sitting there. I felt sick. Like full-on, stomach churning, rage vomiting sick. And yet somehow, this man still had one more nerve to step on. "You're being super dramatic," he muttered. "It's not like I did anything illegal." "Oh, I'm sorry," I said, grabbing my keys. "Is profiting off your girlfriend's home without her knowledge just shady entrepreneurialism now?" He opened his mouth, probably to mansplain that it was a business opportunity, but I didn't let him. I walked right past him, snatched my laptop, my tote, my sanity, and said, "By the time I'm back, I suggest you found a new place to stay." And then I left, but I wasn't done. Because when I pulled into my best friend Zoe's driveway 20 minutes later, she met me at the door with a bottle of red and the words I'll never forget. "Oh, honey, you need to see who just left you a 5-star review." Zoe wasn't the dramatic type, so when she said, "You need to see this," and handed me her phone like it was radioactive, I braced myself. She had pulled up the Airbnb listing, the illegal one Liam created behind my back. Apparently, it was still public, still live, still accepting bookings. I scrolled through the reviews, heart pounding in my ears, and then I saw her. Chloe M. profile picture, cute brunette, big sunglasses, probably filtered, but something about her face stirred something in my memory. Her review, "Such a lovely stay in the city. The host was kind and super accommodating, loved chatting over wine, felt like I got the full experience, definitely will book again." I read that last sentence 5 times. "Zoe," I said slowly, "you don't think he met her, right?" Zoe didn't say anything. She just opened Instagram. And that's when the final puzzle piece clicked into place. Chloe M. had tagged the location of her weekend stay. My apartment. My living room. She was sitting cross-legged on my couch, holding a glass of wine and a charcuterie board I didn't make, with the caption, "When your Airbnb host is hot and knows how to pair Merlot with mozzarella city vibes host with the most." I literally dropped Zoe's phone. I knew that she's bored. Liam made it for our anniversary last year, the one I had to remind him about 3 times. He even used that stupid little honey dipper he insisted on buying for aesthetic purposes. So not only had he been illegally renting out my apartment, he'd been entertaining women in it, like it was some kind of dating app with a security deposit. I was shaking. I couldn't stop pacing Zoe's kitchen. My hands were clenched, and my brain kept flashing images I didn't ask for: my sheets, my mirror, my throw blanket he never liked, now used for his hookups. "He had wine with her," I said out loud. "He opened my wine." Zoe blinked. "Okay, but we're not focusing on the wine. We're focusing on the serial scammer who just turned your apartment into the bachelor mansion without your consent." And she was right. Because the more I looked at Chloe's profile, the clearer it became this wasn't a random one-time guest. There were comments, inside jokes, a recent post with a caption that made my stomach drop. So crazy how unexpected weekends turn into something more. Grateful for new beginnings. New beginnings. Was this girl under the impression that Liam was single? Or worse, had he told her that? Zoe and I went full FBI mode. We combed through Liam's tagged photos, Airbnb reviews, Venmo history, Instagram followers, everything. And every click felt like uncovering another slap to the face. That's when I found the kicker. A Venmo payment from Liam to Chloe. "Thanks for the wine vibes," I sat down. He was literally paying her. After using my place, my things, me. I barely slept that night. Zoe insisted I crash on her pull-out couch, but my brain didn't shut off once. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that smug little "thanks for the wine vibes" Venmo message. My apartment, the place where I made soup when Liam was sick, where I curled up during Sunday thunderstorms, where I lived, had become a prop in his little romance side hustle. He used my name, my address, my memories, and gave it away like it was part of a loyalty program. So yeah, I was done crying. I was in villain origin story mode now. By morning, I had a plan. Step 1, lockdown. I went back to my apartment that afternoon. While Liam was at the gym, he always took these 2-hour sweat therapy sessions where he'd rewatch motivational TikToks and do 3 actual squats. I had just enough time. I changed the locks, texted my landlord a white lie about lost keys and personal safety concerns, paid the fee, no questions asked. Step 2, cut him off. I logged into every shared account we had, Netflix, Spotify, even the grocery rewards app, changed all the passwords, deleted his profiles. Petty? Yes. Necessary? Also yes. He could listen to sad playlists on his time, not on my premium plan. Step 3, reclaim the space. I deep cleaned every surface, lit 3 candles, replaced the throw pillows he used to say looked too girly. I bought new bed sheets not because I needed them, but because I couldn't sleep on the same ones he'd let another woman sit on with my wine glass in her hand. And then came step 4, my favorite. I opened Airbnb, created a host account, and I listed the apartment. My listing, my rules, my terms. The description, cozy, sunlit studio with modern flair, perfect for solo travelers or those needing a fresh start. No drama allowed. I priced it high, like stupidly high. I wasn't trying to become a landlord. I just wanted Liam to see it, to realize I was serious, that I'd taken my space back. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed. Liam, hey, did you change the locks? Me, sure did. Liam, babe, come on, can we talk? Me, oh, I thought you were too busy giving Chloe the full experience. Liam, it wasn't like that. Me, no worries. You're officially off the host account. Hope you kept your 5-star rating though. He didn't respond, but Chloe did. Yep, somehow, someway, she found my IG, slid into my DMs with a, hey, I think we need to talk. So I took a deep breath, because now it wasn't just about the apartment, or the betrayal. There was way more going on here than I thought. I stared at Chloe's message for a solid 5 minutes. What was I even supposed to say? Sure, let's bond over the fact that we both slept in the same bed and probably used the same toothbrush cup? But curiosity beat pride, so I responded. Hi, if this is about Liam, go ahead. I already know he's a liar. Just didn't know how many women he's lied to, she replied instantly. Same. Trust me, I thought I was the only one too. That one word, too. My stomach dropped. We weren't about to have a confrontation. We were about to form a support group. Chloe asked if we could FaceTime. Said she didn't want to send screenshots without explaining. Normally, I'd be hesitant, but something about her tone. It didn't feel catty. It felt betrayed. So I said yes. We connected, and the first thing I noticed was how normal she looked. Like, not some Instagram model he traded up for. Just a girl like me. Hoodie, no makeup, drinking cold coffee. Her voice shook a little when she said, I'm so sorry. I had no idea he was in a relationship. He told me the place was his, that he'd just moved out of a long-term thing and was still, quote, cleansing the space. I blinked. Cleansing. The space. He made our home sound like an exorcism. I asked her how they met. She said Tinder. 2 months ago. They'd been seeing each other casually but consistently. Friday nights, sometimes Sundays. Always at his place because he said his roommate was going through a breakup and needed the bachelor pad energy. Reader, I almost screamed. He even introduced me to Beans, she said, hesitating. Who's Beans? I asked, confused. Chloe blinked. Wait, I thought he was your cat? That's when my jaw hit the metaphorical floor. Because yes, Beans is my cat. The Beans. The orange tabby I rescued during college. The one Liam said was too needy and claimed was more yours than ours. He had introduced my cat to another girl. As his cat. The betrayal was so layered I almost laughed. Not just my bed, my wine, my apartment. Now, Lois, my cat? Oh, I said, voice ice cold. Liam's not just a liar. He's a full-blown identity thief. Chloe looked embarrassed. I feel so stupid. I left him a 5-star review because I thought we were something. She paused, then said quietly, I'm not the only one. Cue the record scratch. Turns out, Liam had a rotation. She'd found a TikTok, yes, a freaking TikTok, by another woman talking about a dreamy Airbnb host who turned into a walking red flag. The details were eerily familiar. Same setup, same rug, same wine. She even showed me a screenshot. Same couch, same cat. I couldn't breathe. Do you think we should tell them? Chloe asked. And I swear, in that moment, I saw the future forming in real time. By the time the call ended with Chloe, I wasn't just mad anymore. I was laser focused. Like villain in a movie trailer, staring out the window during a thunderstorm levels of focused. Because Liam hadn't just disrespected me. He'd created an entire illusion, a mini empire built on soft lighting, Airbnbs, and absolute bullshit. And now, the empire was crumbling. Chloe and I made a plan. She'd reach out to the TikToker Madison and try to confirm it was the same guy. Meanwhile, I'd get in touch with Airbnb support to report Liam's illegal activity. I had screenshots, a timeline, even receipts from the wine he poured for another woman in my glass. But I wasn't stopping there. No. This was personal now. Step 1, I made my own TikTok. Not dancing, not lip syncing, just me, holding a mug that said, "Not your Airbnb host," sitting on my newly re-sanitized couch, saying, POV, you let your boyfriend move in, and he turns your apartment into a dating-based bed breakfast without telling you. It blew up. Comments flooded in. Girl, no he didn't! OMG. This is why I never date dudes who say they're between apartments. Please tell me you changed the Wi-Fi password? And yes, I did. But my favorite comment? Someone tagged Madison. And 20 minutes later, she messaged me, "Hey, is this about a guy named Liam who calls his cat Beans like it's his emotional support animal?" Confirmed. So now there were 3 of us. Chloe made a group chat and titled it, Women of the Airbnb Iconic. Honestly, Madison dropped a full Google Drive folder, screenshots, Venmo charges, even a playlist Liam had made for her titled Late Night Wine. Spoiler, it was the same playlist Chloe had in her saved tracks. We all sat there, watching Liam's web of lies unravel, one Spotify link at a time. But the real kicker, Madison had screenshots of Liam saying he was traveling for work and subletting a friend's place temporarily. She stayed there. The same weekend Liam told me he was visiting his mom in Boston. I looked at my old texts from that weekend. There it was, landed safe. Mom says hi, with a selfie of him and a golden retriever that I now realize was probably Madison's dog. The gaslighting? Olympic level. So we made another plan. Chloe still had a future booking listed under her name it was supposed to be for the following weekend. Same apartment, same setup. She wasn't going to cancel. We were going to show up together, but not to stay. To evict. I texted Liam a simple message. Hope you're ready for your guests this weekend. They're bringing a few surprises. He replied in 5 minutes. What guests? I left him on read. Because babe, we showed up at 3 p.m. sharp. Me, Chloe, and Madison, 3 women with freshly blown out hair, iced coffees in hand, and the collective emotional damage of a girl group that had nothing left to lose. Dressed like we were going to brunch, acting like we weren't about to walk straight into a real-life Netflix original. And yes, before you ask, we brought beans. Because if Liam was going to parade my cat around like some kind of emotional support prop, then Beans was about to bear witness to his downfall. Zoe met us out front with a rolling suitcase and her DSLR. We documenting this, or what? I swear she lives for the drama more than I do. She winked and said, "Smile for the camera, ladies. Today's forecast is 100 chance of chaos." I unlocked the door to my apartment, and the first thing I saw? Liam, shirtless, cooking eggs. He froze when he saw us, spatula mid-air, mouth slightly open like someone just paused his life in real time. What the? I held up a manila folder. You forgot to send your guest the welcome guide. He blinked. What are you doing here? Madison walked in behind me. Technically, I booked the place for the weekend. Chloe followed. And I was just here for the vibes. Zoe stepped inside last, holding her camera like a weapon. Say cheese, Liam. He looked between all of us, pale. Okay, what is happening? I tossed the folder on the counter. Inside? Printed reviews from Chloe's stay, screenshots of Madison's messages, a detailed Airbnb timeline, a spreadsheet of payouts from his illegal rental account. This, I said, is your business shutting down? Liam stammered, trying to pull the cool guy act that used to charm me. Look, this is getting blown way out of proportion. Chloe cut him off. No, Liam. You blew it up when you used her place, lied to me, and made it seem like this was your home. Madison stepped forward. And when you used my Spotify Premium. Honestly, that's what hurts the most, Zoe muttered. Men are bold. Liam was now pacing, hands on his head like he was the victim. I didn't do anything wrong. You let me stay here. You never said I couldn't list it. Are you serious? I nearly laughed. You really think just because I didn't have a no illegal short-term rentals and emotional manipulation clause in our relationship, it's fine? He glared at me. So what is this? Some kind of revenge mission? No, I said calmly. It's an eviction notice. I pulled out my phone and showed him the email thread with Airbnb's trust safety department. His host account? Flagged and permanently suspended. His payouts? Frozen, pending an investigation into fraudulent listings. Your little side hustle? I said. It's officially closed for business. He stood there speechless. And then, Beans jumped onto the counter and knocked his eggs onto the floor. Honestly, perfect symbolism. As we left, Madison paused in the doorway. By the way, Liam, you owe me $42 for that wine. Venmo me or don't, but I'll keep requesting it. Zoe took a photo of the four of us outside. We look fierce, untouchable, and just a little bit unhinged. Caption? 1 star. Would not recommend the host, so I thought we were done. Apartment, reclaimed. Liam? Exposed. Friend group? Strengthened through shared humiliation and girl power solidarity. I was literally mid-Pinterest scroll, fantasizing about turning the old guest binder into kindling, when my phone lit up with a number I didn't recognize. I almost declined it because after everything, I had zero energy for spam calls, ex-boyfriends, or any combination of the two. But then I saw the voicemail preview. Hi, this is Margaret. I'm Liam's mom. I think we should talk. I stared at the screen like it personally betrayed me. His mom? I hadn't spoken to her in months. She'd always been polite, sweet in that overly Midwestern way, brought me pie once when I had the flu, sent a Christmas card with Liam's middle school photo that I never asked for. Honestly, I liked her, so I called her back. Hi, sweetheart, she said, instantly teary. I just wanted you to know. Calm. I saw what happened. Wait, saw? What did she see? I held my breath. What do you mean? Well, the video. The TikTok. Your face was on my FYP. I didn't know whether to cry or throw my phone across the room. Y'all. His mom saw the TikTok. Apparently, her niece Gen Z Queen had sent it to her with a LOL, isn't this your son? And the poor woman had to sit there and watch the entire public unraveling of her firstborn shirtless, egg-making, and emotionally bankrupt in 60-second chapters. She took a deep breath. I want you to know. I didn't raise him like this. And if I had any idea he was doing this to you, I would have driven down there myself and slapped the Airbnb right out of him. I nearly choked laughing. That's kind of incredible to hear. But then her voice changed, gentler, heavier. I just feel like I failed somewhere. He was always so charming, you know? Smart, confident. But I guess somewhere along the way, he started believing his own hype. Same, Margaret. Same. She told me she'd tried calling him after the video. He wasn't answering. She wasn't surprised. Whenever he messes up, he gets quiet, she said. He hides. Like if he ignores the consequences long enough, they'll disappear. Classic Liam. Then she asked a question I didn't expect. Are you okay? Like, genuinely. Not out of politeness. Not because it was the right thing to say, but because she actually cared. And that was the moment I almost burst into tears. Because for weeks I'd been gaslit, humiliated, second-guessing my instincts, and here was the mother of the man who caused all of it, asking how I was. I'm getting there, I said truthfully. Honestly, I feel stronger now than I did before. Margaret was quiet for a second. Then she said, good, because Liam may have been the storm, but you were the anchor. Don't forget that. I thanked her for reaching out. She wished me peace, healing, and better taste in men. Fair. That night, I sat down with Beans curled on my lap, watching the rain smear the city lights outside my window. The apartment was finally clean, quiet, mine again. I didn't want to turn this into a pity party. I didn't want to spiral or cry or fall into that trap of asking, why me? Because honestly, I already knew the answer. Liam picked me because I'm soft-spoken, loyal, trusting, because I made a space that felt like home, and he wanted that glow without doing any of the work to earn it. But here's the part he didn't expect. I might be soft, but I'm not stupid.